Okay, we're off to Sawtooth Cauldron. Got it on the fast travel already. We can just go straight there. Put on the fireburst grenade. Corrosive cloud wouldn't do us a whole lot of good in this map.
Let me know if anything catches your eye.
We could use a new transfusion grenade. It's too bad that was rubberized. Our transfusion grenades are getting pretty long in the tooth. And I always go around now to the right side here on these rocks. The little shortcut. Go to this platform and you can pretty much drop straight down to the grotto entrance this way. And then usually try to take out a couple of these guys so that they don't, in case I have to retreat back out of the grotto, I don't have these guys firing at me while I'm trying to retreat. We're not going to try to clear this whole area or anything, just take out a few of the guys that might harass us later. That should pretty much do it. We'll throw a couple homing grenades at these guys up here. Yeah, we don't really need to worry about those guys. Looks like that grenade didn't kill anybody. And then in the grotto, we'll just push forward a little bit and then back off again because guys will spawn right away. And he's a caustic Goliath, so I don't think he's going to be as susceptible to cloud kill as a regular Goliath. You can see there's a lot of red dots on the mini-map, but some of those aren't actually in the grotto. They're like up above. So this can be a little bit confusing. This entryway here can be a little bit misleading. So I just keep doing this, you know, push in a little ways, some guys spawn, take care of them, you know, 2, 3, 4 at a time, instead of having a big battle. I mean, you could just rush in there and fight everybody all at once, survive by the skin of your teeth, or maybe not. But I just, you know, I just don't play like that, so. You can see right now there's more dots on the mini-map than there actually are enemies in the grotto. We got like 3 extra dots that are not actually here. And what I like to do is go down one side of the grotto and clear it out. And then come back and clear out the other side. And then push the button for the elevator that we're supposed to go up to ascend the Inferno Tower. So that time only one guy spawned. So it's really not too hard if you're real methodical and slow about it. I'm trying to hit the barrels early so that they don't constantly steal my cloud kill every time I hit one while I'm in combat. now that I'm more aware of that mechanic, I really wasn't even aware of it in the past when I was playing Maya. Probably because I wasn't, ever re-watching any footage. But now that I've seen it clearly, I'm like, that's kind of a pain that my cloud kill keeps getting stolen by barrels.
How are you?
One thing that we got in between episodes was a group of new sniper rifles. I ended up with 2 horror shows and a pushka, replacing 3 of my droogs. Just because they were higher level and they were a little bit better. But they're not as impressive with magazine size as those droogs were. But they should be good enough. My blue card slag droog that I had, I kept that one because that one did not get outclassed. And then, of course, I got a new good touch. And I got a new spinny gun. We have a green one on right now, but the level 25 green one was better than our old level 21 blue one. And I got a whole new suite of Gwen's heads, which I don't think I even end up using. But the main thing I got was that new Heavenly Nurse class mod. And at this level, the blue class mods start giving you 4 skill points instead of just 3. So we have 4 free sweet release points now. So that combined with the 1 point that we put into it gives us 5, which means we can get up to 85% of our health back from 1 phase lock. It's been a few episodes since we really needed to use sweet release that much, but it's still a nice foundation to build off of, to know that you've got that survivability first and foremost. That is one of the things I like about Maya, is she has that survivability early, and you don't have to worry about it. Some of the other characters don't get as much survival type skills, and sometimes they come later in the skill tree. And Maya has even a lot more available than what we're going to use. And she has a lot of survival skills, a lot of health skills. And even that ward that we took, we put 5 points into ward. And that improved her shield capacity and her recharge delay. So Maya is just pretty darn solid on the survivability front. So we're still continuing in the same method. Just push forward a little bit, get some guys to spawn, take them out. So far, pretty much the good touch, fire sniper, and our fire burst grenades has been good enough for everything. This ammo machine is pretty handy. We'll be back to this thing a few times during the course of this mission. Now you push the elevator button, and the elevator does not come down. Instead, they send these ambush commanders and all their minions at you. And this doesn't necessarily look like great cover up here, but actually it's really good cover. So those overhanging rocks right in front of us stop any axes or grenades from being able to hit us very easily. Because the NPCs pretty much always have lobbed grenades, and when they throw them, or when they throw their axes, they need kind of an arc in order to successfully get the grenade to you. So you'll see on that one that guy just threw, it exploded down below us because it didn't land up here. So those overhanging rocks interfere with the arc that they need in order to hit you with something. So right here, really the only thing we have to worry about is bullets. And a lot of the time, we have kinetic reflection working for us, which gives us decreased damage when we get hit by bullets. It only works on bullets, but it not only deflects the bullets back towards enemies, it also reduces the damage that any of those bullets do to you. So each point that you put into kinetic reflection decreases the damage those bullets do to you and increases the damage that it does if it reflects back onto an enemy. So it's both kind of an offensive and a defensive skill. The catch is that it's only active immediately after you kill an enemy. So you've only got like 6 seconds or 7 seconds or something of the skill being active. There you can see it's active now, that kind of gold colored icon just below our progress bar. That means the kinetic reflection is active. So during that we have reduced damage and also possibly increased offensive capability. I'm not real big on kill skills just because of the way that I play. This conservative approach of, trying to avoid a big fight, just taking enemies out a few at a time, means that oftentimes the timer on my kill skill is expired by the time I, encounter my next enemy. So there's a lot of times where a kill skill doesn't do me any good at all, but it's a great thing for a more aggressive player to have. So we got all the ambush commanders down. Cloud kill made that a lot easier, made us able to kill them from a pretty far distance without a lot of trouble. And now we have to go up this little hill to kill, to destroy a buzzard, this mortar guy's prized buzzard, because supposedly that will piss him off to the point that he will open up the elevator again. This is the kind of thing that used to piss me off when I first started playing Borderlands 2. I mean, this whole thing started when all we tried to do was go across that bridge. And then they raised the bridge. And so Brick says, well, go to Sawtooth Cauldron and get some explosives and we'll lower that bridge. And so you do. And then you're supposed to go up the elevator to that Inferno Tower, but you can't because it's locked. So then you have to go around this way and kill the guy's buzzard in order to piss him off so that he'll unlock the elevator. And then you can go up to the Inferno Tower. And then after you fight off a bunch of other guys, you can get the explosives. And then after you get back to the fast travel and do more fighting, finally Brick can get the explosives on that bridge and you can go on the original place that you were supposed to go to. And that's just too much like real life for me, you know? I mean, it's like you want to do something and it turns out you got to do 6 other things before you can even start your original goal. And at the time I was like, I don't need this in my video game. I have enough of this to deal with. But at this point, after I've been playing for a while, it just feels like part of the mission. You know, I don't really even think about it anymore.
That wasn't so difficult.
I put on a Tesla grenade since it was so successful with the Gluttonous Thresher. I thought maybe it'd work on these guys. And it seemed to, but, you know, those were not very threatening threshers, so not very conclusive on that one. It worked, but I don't know, it worked better than anything else. And the same thing applies here. Just kind of rinse and repeat. Move forward, kill a few guys. Move forward, kill a few guys. This mission does get really hard by the time you get to Ultimate Vault Hunter mode because each guy becomes a real pain in the butt in and of themselves, let alone having 4 or 5 of them. There's another rat, and he has a shock weapon. This is a good cover spot for sniping. But yeah, at some point, probably somewhere in True Vault Hunter mode, we'll take a closer look at Maya's skill tree and look in more detail at each of the skills we decided to take and each of the skills we still intend to take. It just seems like this is maybe a little too early for that because we haven't really taken that many skills yet. That's another thing, is you get plenty of loot midgets on this map. Yeah, I didn't like this game very much at all when I first started playing it, because I had just come from Borderlands 1, and the general consensus seemed to be, you know, Borderlands 2 was way better than Borderlands 1. And when I first started playing this, I totally didn't see it. I would just say these people are absolutely crazy. This game doesn't even hold a candle to Borderlands 1, let alone improve on it. And of course, one of the first things that was due to was just revolvers. I mean, to me, revolvers in Borderlands 1 feel more like real revolvers. You know, with real revolvers, they usually only hold 6, and so you have to be pretty deliberate and accurate, and revolvers are very notable for their accuracy. You know, guys put scopes on them and go hunting with powerful revolvers. And that was kind of how the revolvers were in Borderlands 1. You know, you'd get scopes on them. They would be almost as powerful as a sniper rifle and almost as accurate. And they were that kind of weapon, you know, that you didn't just go bam, 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 bam. You, like, would take one shot at a time. And I like that because that's like how I experienced real revolvers, and it kind of felt like that. And then you get into this game and they're doing the cowboy fanning of the hammer, and they're supposed to be, you know, really fast trigger pulls and really don't feel that accurate or precise to me at all. They wag around all over the place every time you try to fire them, and I was just like, no. And I still haven't gotten over that. I'll occasionally use one, but for the most part, that's still a disappointment to me. But it's been overshadowed by the fact that, you know, first and foremost, the skill trees are so much better in this game. I mean, there's not even much of a comparison. These skill trees have a lot more depth, a lot more interesting skills, a lot more synergies between weapons and skills and in between skills themselves. Just a lot more interesting variety and impact of the skills. And also, ultimately, the depth of the weapons is better too. Even though I ignore revolvers, between pistols, SMGs, and snipers, and the grenades, there's just a lot more variety and depth in the overall weapon system. And of course, the fact that the game is longer and more involved ultimately makes it a deeper and more long-lasting game than Borderlands 1. And like, if I could only play one for like the next decade or so and I had to make the choice between the two, I would take this one just because of that, just because of the more depth and length. But there's still a lot of things that I liked better about Borderlands 1. I think overall I liked the atmosphere better, and I liked the more succinct missions better, and obviously I liked the revolvers better. And I think I've probably about even on sniper rifles. I don't know that I would prefer one over the other as far as sniper rifles go. And the same with SMGs. SMGs were good in both games. But yeah, even just outside of revolvers, I feel like Borderlands 1 still, to me, feels more like real guns than these guns do. You know, these are a lot more, like, fanciful science fiction guns or something. Of course, all the elemental effects in both games are kind of ridiculous from a real gun point of view, but they just felt more real to me in Borderlands 1. But the overall game, I think, is better for Borderlands 2. I still have on my same turtle shield. That I think it's level 24. My purple turtle shield was not outclassed by anything that I found. Which kind of sucks in a way because, you know, I'd like to upgrade my shield, but on the other hand, it's pretty cool because we found such a good shield. But pretty soon it'll be outclassed even by a green turtle shield. So with upgrading my weapons a little bit, I ended up putting more things into storage. So while Gage is by no means full yet, she's getting closer than she was. I still think I'm going to be able to make it through normal mode okay, without having to make a storage character. I did manage to get another SDU for Maya's bank, so that's 2 more spaces. So I think I'm going to make it. And even though I probably still have too much of a hoarder mindset, you know, and I probably keeping too many things, while looking at it in between episodes, I think I am doing a lot better than I did last time. I mean, I think last time I played through, I probably would have kept all those droogs, even though they were green. But I just think it's just as likely that Gage or Salvador or Axton or anybody who comes after Maya is probably not going to have that much trouble finding adequate sniper rifles, and so I'll just save the ones that are really good. I'm still kind of surprised we haven't seen a good purple Maliwan, and that I've ended up relying on Vladovs so much, like this whole playthrough. It's been very much Vladov snipers and not very many Maliwans. It just seems like every time I see a Maliwan sniper, it has 5 in the magazine, and I'm just not willing to go for that. Especially with Cloudkill pulling so much of the weight for us. We don't really need the extra elemental damage that a Maliwan would provide. But still, we should be able to do better than 5 in the magazine. And I also haven't seen very many, like 50% or more, elemental chants. They like seem to be barely better on those stats than the Vladovs, which has, you know, I feel like that hasn't been my experience in the past. That yeah, you trade fire rate and magazine size, but in return you get really good elemental damage. And I just haven't seen that so far. I think we've just had bad Maliwan luck. And good Vladov luck. So that's kind of one of the interesting things about this game is even when you have a plan or you think you know how it's going to go, there's still enough variables to keep it interesting. And I always go down here because there's like a save point right there, or a respawn point, so that if we get killed up on that platform trying to take out Boombringer, then we will respawn in this stairwell instead of back down at the bottom of the hill. And this is a good place to respawn because it has good cover, and yet it's still really close to where we need to be. Up here you tend to get quite a few guys spawn all at once, so we can throw our homing grenade early and be pretty sure that it's going to hit somebody. So that was actually pretty good. We didn't have to retreat at all. Had to retreat from that shock barrel. And there's our first buzzard. I think I actually hit him with a homing grenade. I think I got us pretty good with a shock grenade. This is good cover in here, but the back of this little Quonset hut shelter has no railing, and it doesn't have stairs. It just has a straight drop off down there. And if you go off that edge right there that I'm pretty close to right now, you fall off and die. So I'm probably not being careful enough. Buzzards have gotten a lot easier since I started using sniper rifles on them. I used to just use SMGs, like corrosive SMGs or corrosive pistols. And it works, but it doesn't work as fast as these sniper rifles do. So it's definitely worth a little bit of sniper ammo to take these guys down quick. Like, that guy was pretty darn quick. Oh, I actually hit him through there. Oh, he's firing missiles. See, that's not bad cover from those missiles if you're careful about not falling out the back. Now, while we've got the corrosive sniper on, we'll activate these two turrets. And with Cloud Kill, it only takes one shot per turret. That's pretty easy. Now we'll go off to the left and clear out a few more guys. We shouldn't need corrosive sniper again for a little while.
Here you go.
The guy always crawls out from under there. Trying to get that nomad with the fire melon, but it barely did anything to him. And the fire melon took our cloud kill just like the barrels do. Got quite a few little ammo boxes over here. There's no need to come over here except for the ammo. And there's a pretty good chest in here. One of those kind of car trunk chests. It doesn't look like it right now, but this might be the second hardest mission in the game. Partially because it's pretty long. And there's no good dividing spot. You know, there's no door to go through for a save point. Well, the second hardest mission in the story, I should say, and that's debatable. I don't really know. I think definitely Wildlife Preserve, I think, is the hardest. But I've probably changed my mind a few times as far as what the second hardest might be. At one point, I might have even given it to Opportunity. But in this playthrough, Opportunity was ridiculously easy.
Just walk away from it. That slap just blew up my buzzer without even looking at the explosion. But I ain't scared. I'm coming down and you're gonna die. Sounds like you can take the elevator down. Feel free to kill Mortar on your way up.
Hopefully we'll get a chance to farm for another Ludmilla after this. I'd like to get at least one more Ludmilla in normal mode. It seems like there's always loot midgets in these two chests, in one of those two chests. But I guess we already got our loot midget quota. I don't know. And like where we were just at and flipped that switch, that was for this. You can see right there that pole. That's like an electrical fence. And that switch we flipped turned it off to allow us to get to this chest. Looks like we have a candidate for a new corrosive sniper. So I haven't even used those shotguns. I have those two shotguns.
Tough decision.
So a little less damage. Quite a few more in the magazine. Quite a bit faster reload. And a faster fire rate. And one level higher. So I think we'll go with that one. We'll get rid of the horror show and keep the Brachny. Now we have to go back down into the grotto. You can go the long way off to the right, back down that hill, but there's like a way directly ahead of us too. This little conveyor belt. And this is one of those situations where you can't really avoid being surrounded by enemies. They spawn like 5 of them. And there's not really any good cover. You can run down there and try to use those buildings for cover, but then you've got that tank right there. And now we'll have to fight Mortar before we can go up the elevator. And he's usually pretty tough. So make sure you're all reloaded and have a phase lock available and cloud kills ready. His shield is gone at least.
You really are the best slab ever.
So once again, it's nice to have this higher level Herald. I think we probably would have given up trying to stretch that level 8 Herald by now. And we would have had to find a different solution for an emergency gun.
Feeling overburdened by money.
Now we can go up the elevator. And we'll have to fight more buzzards once we get up there, but there will also be a few bandits. So we'll get to try out our new corrosive Vladov sniper pretty much right away.
Sky's gotta be clear first. Take out those buzzards.
Got hit by a barrel right away. Well, that's about it for bandits. And this is good cover in the elevator.
Man, why don't these guys just give up? You already killed their boss. Idiots.
So it's kind of hard to tell much difference between the two snipers. Can maybe see a little faster fire rate. I think you can pretty clearly tell faster reload time. And it seems like you can kind of see there's a little less damage. But I'm not really feeling much difference in the fire rate. I guess it's faster, but I don't know, it doesn't really seem faster. Uh-oh, he's firing missiles at us. Yeah, we didn't get hit too hard.
Now mark those crates for pickup and my boys will come and get them.
See, like in Ultimate Vault Hunter mode, you can't quite do what I just did there. I was just kind of shooting at whatever was available to be shot at. But in Ultimate Vault Hunter mode, they regenerate health. So you have to try harder to take one completely down at a time so that they don't get the opportunity to regenerate health.
My boys are
That always kind of freaks me out. There's more buzzards coming in. Oh no, but it's just bricks, guys. And there will be a few more bandits now after you take out all the buzzards. So I guess it's a little more intense because they throw all the buzzards at you at once. But you have good cover, so this mission feels like it's kind of, you know, a little bit at a time, a little bit at a time, just kind of consistently over the whole mission.
Watch your head! Slab's coming in!
And of course, there's no actual boss. And then, just like Wildlife Preserve, they don't
Well done.
just let you finish the mission. You have to like fight your way back to the fast travel.
In the quickest and badassest way possible.
Usually you can get a couple guys at least from up here. Use the homing grenade to kind of flush them out. Lots of times the homing grenade can spot them easier than I can. And then there's no help for it but to just jump down and do your best to survive. Fortunately, it's normal mode.
Did you just jump off the buzzard's nest? Seriously, make me proud.
So that was a little iffy, but not too bad.
Let's just get this out of the way. Yes, most of my merchandise was...
Another transfusion grenade that was rubberized. Pretty annoying. And then we don't turn it in till we get to the next map. So we got to drive back to that bridge. We should be able to cross it now. Kind of back to where we started.
If you got the money, I'll save your gold-earned life. Lovely. May it help you kill many things. A pleasure as always. Remember, we're always open.
So the end of the story is almost in sight now.
Keep your head down, Slab. My boys are starting their run. That ought to do it. The way to the info stockade is open. Get in there and find out where Jack's got Lilith and the warrior. While you're doing that, I'm gonna pay a visit to a Hyperion outpost. See if I can't steal some heavy armor for our
See if
power
King
assault
Mong
on
is
Jack.
back. Nope. No King Mong this time. Try not to drive off the edge. We'll have to remember to get the Hunter Helmquist mission and get a bee shield
You see that building with the light shooting out of it?
next episode.
Okay. We're gonna get you there.
So data mining is our next mission. These vending machines look like they're level 28.
Side of the pipe leading to a maintenance house.
See what level the mission is. Level 28.
Pipeline.
So we have 1.5 levels that we can farm for a Ludmilla. So I'll let you know if I find one. But in the meantime, that is it for this episode.